case of Annie.
Yeah.
She might keep living, Two-Face will change. He will change. It's just a matter of time. I think he will change when he comes to realize the love,
How wonderful.
how we've suffered together from the scratch.
Sometimes women think that they can actually change a man. You think you can, over time, if I love him this way, after a while, he will come to realize that it's me that he wants, and then I'll be able to make him do differently. So a man is, a man doesn't allow you to talk freely. A man is always checking up on you every time. Where are you? And you don't know that subtly controlling you. Is just maxing up as if it's care, but it's controlling.
If you think you can change someone, then you're a very foolish person. You see TikTok, I don't know if people know Nara Smith. You see all these stay-at-home people that they be posting, this is the day in the life of a stay-at-home girlfriend. Today I woke up and I was feeling pretty. I opened the curtains. That's not how it is.
No, that's not real life.
It's like when... I'm sure that thing is fantasy. Hi, it's me, Mehita Bell.
And my name is Bishop.
Hi, I'm Emaidio. Welcome to Truth in Bikinis podcast, where we strip down life's toughest issues to its core truth. And today, we'll be talking about
toxic love in honor of February 14, which is Valentine's Day.
Yes, and so we'll be talking about toxic love, recognizing the signs, and breaking free. So before we begin this discussion, we'd just like to differentiate between toxic and a normal relationship. The struggles of a normal relationship struggles and a truly toxic relationship struggle. So, but first, I think that I've gone through a couple of researches and I found out that we can class relationship into healthy, unhealthy, and a toxic relationship. In a healthy relationship, you know that you can have mutual understanding, respect for one another, open communication, and then there's this support and trust between members of the relationship. And the conflicts, when you have conflicts in a healthy relationship, they're normally viewed as an opportunity for growth. Now, when you compare that to a toxic relationship or an unhealthy relationship, you find out that there will be patterns of manipulation. There'll be control, like one party is trying to always be in control of the other person. So I just want us to share, like, how do you differentiate a toxic and a normal relationship?
I mean, in my opinion, I feel it can be black and white, right? Someone can say, if he's dishonest or he's doing some certain things, it's a toxic relationship. But I feel it's not always like that. I don't know if you've watched this show, Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this character, her name is Carrie. And there's this man called Mr. Big, right? And she has this on-again, off-again relationship with Mr. Big. In fact, they even get married at the end of the series. And it's kind of weird. You would say, okay, he hasn't really done anything bad. But their relationship dynamic is that this man does not like her. He does not like her, but he's getting old, needs a hospice wife. And he's settled. And he doesn't like her to the point that on their wedding day, he backed out, called her, said, I can't marry you.
Oh, wow.
And mind you, time and time again, she keeps going back and he keeps doing things like that. And even up until the point where they were married, he didn't want to go out with her. He only wants to stay in the house. In fact, he used to want to go out during weekends, have a weekend away from the marriage. Meanwhile, she's all over him, wants to be with him.
Yeah.
And it's someone can see that dynamic and be like, he's not cheating, he's not...
Yeah.
But that in itself, Mr. Big and Carrie is one of the biggest, one of the most, this guy is such a red flag. It's so annoying. And I feel that particular situation, that thing of him looking for a hospice wife and managing with someone that he doesn't like, is one of those things that makes me realize that, marriage is not even the goal. And it's a man can marry you and he's not in love with you. Yeah. A man can marry you because you're the best option, or maybe you're the last result. Exactly. It's
that time.
I saw this thing online. They say men don't marry the love of their life. they marry whoever is closest to them when they are ready to get married. And it's like, that's just crazy to me, to find out that someone wants to spend the rest of their lives with you and they don't really see you as
they
that
don't
much.
feel the way you feel about them. So there's always that imbalance in the relationship. Yes. All right.
And even communication, you know, in a healthy relationship, they tend to communicate honestly. They say their mind, some affirmations and all of that. They can
like you can say your mind without being afraid of anything. Yes.
You just say your mind freely, babe, you know. But when it's toxic, the reverse is the case.
Yes.
You are just scared of the person you are in love with because of what the person can turn within a twinkle of an eye.
Yes, that's correct.
That's one thing with toxic relationships. So when you are able to communicate freely with your partner, that means it's kind of healthy, you know. But when you are scared of telling your partner things, then it's toxic because I think it's your partner, for crying out loud, and you are scared of communicating.
Speaking to them.
You can't be honest because your honest might be used against you, your honesty.
Sure.
Oh, and that also brings me to this question. What are the red flags people often ignore at the early stages of a relationship? Though we have red flags, but people do ignore these red flags.
Yes, I think it's quite common with women. Women tend to make excuses. Yes, that's what it's called. Women tend to make excuses to overlook certain things that they should actually pay attention to. Because sometimes women think that they can actually change a man. You know, you think you can, you know, over time, if I love him this way, after a while, he will come to realize that it's me that he wants, and then I'll be able to make him do differently. So a man is, you know, a man doesn't allow you to talk freely. A man is always checking up on you every time. Where are you? And you don't know that subtly controlling you. Is just maxing up as if it's care, but it's controlling. Because he'll be checking up, where are you? Why are you in the market by this time? Oh, and you actually think it's care, and you'll be like, oh, he loves me, you know?
It's not even just that. You know, this is a message I have. If you think you can change someone, then you're a very foolish person. If you think like with your own full chest that you're smart and like you are trying to, no, people do not change for other people. People do not change for anything outside of themselves. Unless that person has an inner conviction and realizing whatever they are doing is affecting them, they are not going to change. So the best thing to do is just to like be able to like meet people that are, you know, meet people that get you, meet people that you know that the characters that they have are not things you should want to change. Like someone also said, I hear a lot of things on TikTok, right? There's this one little quote I saw on TikTok that went like this: if you meet someone now and you want to settle with them, you have to make sure that whatever things you might find irritating or you don't like with them, is this something I would be comfortable with long term?
Yeah,
it's not. Your idea is no. You don't come up to someone and say, "Hey, I like you. I don't like these things about you. I want to change you." If you know it's something you cannot handle,
walk away.
Just
walk away.
And then try and look for people have bad characters. People have red flags. Be able to choose someone that you know that if this person had this thing for 100 years, I can still love them and it won't change anything. That's it. Pick your struggle.
I personally feel that men don't, I don't know, it's difficult to change a man. It's easier for a woman to actually adjust to stuff, you know. But for a man, it's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You just cannot change him. If you find him a certain way, just make up your mind. I like it like this, or I'm gonna walk away. You just walk away.
And there are some other red flags there, you know, like isolation. You know, it's possible for a man to restrict a woman. He said, I don't want your family members. I don't want you having friends. I just want you off myself. I don't want anybody. That's a red flag.
When I hear things like that, it sounds like olden days problem. Honestly,
but it's still
I know it's still happening now, but
happens.
Like, you know, from my own perspective and my own age and like the way I'm raised, it just doesn't seem like, it doesn't sound normal except in the context of talking about my parents or my parents' friends, not really with my own friends. And maybe it's just because of the circles I keep.
Okay.
Because, you know, if I'll hear some things from outside and it's like,
No, I know of a man who restricted the wife's mom from visiting. He said, if your mom is coming, inform me 2 weeks ahead.
Okay.
And then I would decide if she comes or not.
that's crazy.
And the wife is always so scared of the husband. And she's like, well, if that's what he says, then who am I? I can't leave the marriage. You understand?
Who am I? As per, you're not a human being again.
The low self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
he
Well,
restricts her from so many things, friends. So she's just alone. So even if she's being abused, she doesn't have anyone
Yes,
to
you
call
know.
or run to for support.
You know.
So she's just there. I think that's one of the red flags. If someone should see something like that, you just need to leave.
You know, most people just think, oh, he wants me to himself, and kind of maybe it's kind of love, you know.
Yeah,
It's-
that means butterflies.
it's kind of love.
Yeah, a
It's
man-
got
a
his
man-
own way of showing his
a man
love.
wanting you or a man wanting to be with you is not, it's not love. Like, just because he chose you, just because he wants you to be his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, that's not love. You know, if you want to go to the basics of, like, let's put it, the Christian definition of love, I feel that's a very comprehensive, you know, if someone shows those attributes that's described in the Bible, love is patient, love is kind, love is not
Yeah.
boastful.
Yeah.
That is when, actually, that is when I can consider, okay, this person loves me, when they abide by these rules. And even when I abide by these rules, I realize that I'm actually in love with that person.
Okay.
So anyways, next question on like this card or something. Are Nigerian women conditioned to endure toxic love in the name of patience and cultural expectations?
Oh well. Let's see. If we talk about cultural expectations, for instance, this whole thing about patience and what the society expects or what the family expects of a woman. You know, most times they would say, there's an adage in my side. They say, "Esi yo yondo." They say you have to endure marriage. That means wherever this thing is coming from is probably somewhere very far. You know, it's a long time. You know, it's an ancient adage, and so it means that women had to stay in whatever conditions they found themselves.
It's like,
You know,
no motivation.
So there's
for change.
there's that expectation. If you're leaving your home, everybody's saying, "I don't have even your family members are saying, I don't have a room for you.
They might not
Go
support
back
you.
to your husband, you know, or go back to." And so a woman is expected to just learn patience. Even if she's dying, just stay there. Don't worry. You know, don't worry, just stay there. You will change or something. I don't know what they were expecting, but a lot has changed over time. No man is changing for you. And women are now dying in relationships or in marriages because you're saying they have to be patient.
That's true, because, you know, the society kind of wants the woman to prioritize their family and relationships over their own well-being. They don't care what happens to you, but all they want is that you will have to take care of your family, take care of your children.
Yeah.
If you're living, they say, so the children, now why are you keeping them for? And you are still not allowed to go with the children because the man is supposed to, it is his children. So women are really going through a lot because the society,
See, women are
they kind
going
of
through a lot.
socialize this, and it's as if it's something that's permanent, or like
It's like we are reduced to just objects or tools to push other people forward. Like we are a tool to improve a man. We are a tool to raise the children and ensure that they are whatever they become in society.
That reminds me, saying that now just reminds me of a conversation I had in a keke, you know. These older women were just talking, and I tried to keep quiet, you know, and this man was like, every woman should know that she's like a television. Jesus. I was like, so I kept quiet. I just said, well, I'm not going to engage these older women today. Please, Lord,
Honestly.
deliver me from this engagement. So they just kept on at it. I was like, she said she has warned us, her daughter. She has told her daughter, never must your husband's food be cooked by a maid. You know, she said up till now, I still clean my husband's shoe, which is not bad. But for heaven's sake,
how about those that
how is the woman supposed to pursue a career
Or do her own thing.
and then
Everything.
take care of children? So she is expected she expects the daughter to probably be grounded, just to be full-time housewife.
How about son that say you have to kneel down and present the wash
as
and basin to
attractive
your husband?
as attractive as that full-time, you see TikTok, I don't know if people know Nara Smith. You see all these stay-at-home people that they be posting, oh, this is the day in the life of a stay-at-home girlfriend. Today I woke up and I was feeling pretty. I opened the curtains. That's not how it is.
No,
though.
that's not real life.
It's like when I'm serious, that thing is fantasy, because when it reaches the point where your boyfriend or your husband is upset with you, and all of a sudden you're not going to have money to do your hair.
Yeah.
You don't have money to get that thing you want to get. Or maybe if it's really wicked, you're not eating food that night because he's upset with you. And you, there's a mumu that said, I want to depend on this. Like, he's a provider man. I don't need to work.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you, there's a mumu that's in that situation now. You don't have anything to do other than follow him blindly. There's nothing wrong.
That's crazy.
And I think that is how this discussion came. Why do so many people struggle, so many women, to be specific, struggle to leave a toxic relationship even when they know it's unhealthy?
I mean,
It's a lot.
there's this study I saw. It's about the freaking brain. I can't even really go into details, but just do your own research. Google it. If you notice something, it's very, very hard normally as human beings to change our habits. It's like if you want to start going to the gym, you probably start going the first 3 weeks and then you realize you don't have that motivation to go.
continue,
Because the brain doesn't like change. It's a defense mechanism. Like, let's say back in the days when you were fending for your life, protecting, if you go and do something that's a little bit outside of what you're used
do normally,
to, it leads to situations of that person probably getting hurt. It's like, let's say a caveman now, they normally, this particular set of cavemen stay in their cave. This one leaves the cave. Something bad happens to them. So I feel like it's something that we just developed over time to kind of protect us. And you have to be very, very aware of this thing, because it's like, whether the habit is good or whether the habit is bad, your brain wants you to keep doing that habit.
Yes,
It wants you
right
to stay there.
that.
If you like sweet things and you want to change it, it will be so hard. So it's like, and I don't understand where this narrative of like expecting that leaving toxic relationships is so easy, when even starting healthy habits normally, like going to the gym, is something that's hard.
Change is actually very difficult.
Change is hard, though.
Change is difficult.
Change is freaking
Yes,
hard.
it is.
So that's one of the reasons. That's why I feel people stay in toxic relationships. Like, it's a brain thing. And, there's one guy that I was telling something about, like, this Annie case.
Yeah.
I told him something about, like, why Annie didn't leave. Like, I gave this scenario as per why Annie couldn't leave. Because, the psychological, this thing. And this man had the mind to tell me that I'm over analyzing it. I'm thinking too much
about it. Yeah.
But the world is not black and white. It's not one way. We have things, our brains are wired to make us do things different ways, like trauma. So many things come into play.
Yeah,
and those things need to be considered, because it's not like those things don't exist.
So I think maybe a hope for change will also be some of the reason, or one of the reasons.
Yes, especially for women.
Seriously,
Especially for women, I think there's this expectation that
you
just
might believe
that just
my
keeps
man will definitely change.
The woman's fate is
Seriously.
quite good.
Like even the case of Annie, she might keep living Two-Face will change. He will change. It's not a matter of time. I think he will change when he comes to realize the love,
how wonderful,
how we've suffered together from the scratch.
And then there's there's a fact that they probably started that relationship a lot when she was younger, and there's this thing about women getting attached to this first love something, and it's my first love, and then she has a baby for him, and then it's even more difficult because you think women actually think that sex for a man is as important as it is for a woman. A woman tends to guard, I don't know, before a woman, the feelings, before she gives in, she has taken time to say, oh, I love this one, but for a man, sometimes it's not so.
So when there's a hole, there's a way. Yeah, that's their own.
So
they don't care where it's coming from.
I don't know why you said that.
A low self-esteem. Partners who go through abuse, some of them might be belittled. and their partner might say all sort of things, saying, who would even want to take you? I'm even managing you.
Yeah.
And that they might use that to define themselves. They might feel maybe I'm not good enough for a better relationship.
That brings us to the role of financial dependence. Can a woman truly have a voice in a relationship where she has zero financial power? Most women are just stuck because where do I go from here? How do I even start something,
Fear of the unknown.
Yes, So women, some of those women, sometimes they actually want to make a change. But when they sit down and consider, okay, if I take these children, I have to I have to start this. Recently, there's a woman I know and who had to really leave because it was already too toxic. It's getting beaten and all of that. And then she left for a while, and then he went, oh, come back, and called people, and then they started begging her, and then she said she doesn't want to go back. But she doesn't have anything. Doesn't have anything to her name. She doesn't have money. So how does she start this journey on her own? With the children, they have to go back to school and all of that. How does she take care of them?
I mean, like I said, my mom always, every day, probably because of her own experience growing up, and my mom just being more modern, exposed to the internet, exposed to a lot more things of her growing up. So she always tells me, Mahita Bell, whatever you do, make money. Make money. If you want to be in a relationship, have money. If you want to anything, in fact, before you date, as much as they always say, guys, have money.
Yeah, they should say the same thing to women.
As they say, the same way they say, guys, have money in your pockets before you want to go and find love.
Women.
Same thing with women.
Yes, it's applicable to women as well.
Because true, the type of men that go for financially desperate women, the type of men that go for women that don't have anything, and the women that get impressed by, outies and things like that. The type of men that go for those women are men that are looking to control you.
Yes, you're right.
That's it. Because you know what? There's this thing I see. There's this, no rich man is coming to save you. It's like rich people marry rich people. Rich people marry people that will add to their status, make them look good. If a rich person is marrying someone in a lower tax bracket than them,
definitely control you.
The chances of it being love is like this. The chances of it being, I can control this woman easily, is like this.
Hi, yes.
So, just financial freedom, like lack of financial freedom, and being in a romantic relationship should not come in the same sentence, except it is to say you cannot have the both. You get?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Happen.
I personally believe that even though culture would say, oh, next thing after a girl graduates, the next thing they're asking you, how far with husband? And where's the man?
They don't care if you have.
I personally feel that as soon as my pastor used to say that self-discovery should come before spouse discovery.
Yeah.
You haven't discovered yourself. You haven't found yourself. You've not found your feet. You don't have money in your pocket. And then you are looking for man.
You want to answer the rich man's wife.
No, what do you want to do with it? Because all of these things, as soon as you get into marriage, or as soon as you get into a relationship, or you start thinking marriage, and then before you know your children, and then everything is just on pause for the woman. Yeah, because you are going to literally have to give your life to take care of all of those things. And then you don't know, as you are, you don't even know where you're going, and then you end up in such a place where you're kind of locked up for a season, and there's no money. And if that relationship goes sour, it's finished.
I know of a lady. She said, after marriage, I'll now plan on what I should do to earn money for myself. She didn't discover herself first. She just wanted to get married first. Now, guess what happened? She literally got pregnant. Babies started coming, and that was the end. And up till now, she is still struggling, to get on her feet. Because when Junior have to take his bath, needs to go to school, you need to prepare food for daddy and the babies. And when would you even have the time again when you didn't even discover yourself at first? When you want to start growing in marriage, it's kind of difficult. Now, when you've already grown yourself and then you are in marriage, you already had those ideas and you can work things out. But now, you want to grow in the marriage. it's kind of difficult. So you just have to groom yourself first, discover yourself first before you go into marriage.
Yeah.
So it's just the idea of some people say after marriage I will go to school. People who go to school when they are married, they find it very difficult.
Who is going to pay the fees?
Even if your husband is paying the fees, imagine you're reading and then it comes to your head that Junior is sick. My daughter is ill. Like, you won't even concentrate.
Yeah.
I don't even understand.
And the truth is that I don't even know. I just don't feel a lot of men are really raised or trained to be able to even handle those situations in places of their wives. Unless it just boils down to how that man was raised, whether he can cover for you in those types of situations. That's just it. It's not any is you know, in the case of nature versus nurture, it's a nurture thing. It's a nurture thing. Because tell me why I was sweeping, I complained about sweeping, like everybody's leaving their work for me to do, because I'm the person that is home. I'm the person that has a little bit more of a flexible schedule, but I'm also the busiest person. I'm the one that has the most to doing. But everybody is going out, going to school, doing this, and like I'm left with cleaning up after everybody. I said, I don't like this. My neighbor that was in our compound said, no, as a woman, you should calm down. You should just do it. Close your eyes, close your mouth, and just do it. That's what this man was telling me. He didn't say everybody should pitch in, work together, make the house clean. Yeah. Not even say, you know, even my uncle the other time came and said that's my brother went out, I was cleaning. My brother had gone out and I was cleaning. I'm not going to lie and say I'm someone that cleans off from boss. I don't like it when I'm carrying everybody's load, when everybody has their part to play in the mess. My brother gone out and my uncle now told me that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Boys are
men
like
watch TV.
Well, mind you, women are.
I was not raised like this, so my parents did not raise me like this. My parents did not raise me to have these ideals. But it's people from outside that are coming to come and tell me how it's supposed to be. It's quite, frustrating, and these types of things kind of seeps into relationships and have men have these toxic ideals on how the home is supposed to be, when in reality it's like they grow up watching the women in their lives keep quiet and do everything.
I know of a guy who cannot wash plates.
That's crazy.
Even the last thing has boxers. So you have to call his girlfriend. Even if she travels, she said, I still have pile of plates and I don't even have a clean one to use in eating. So I don't know if
is that a movie or something?
Like, I mean, real. You have to come back because I don't have, seriously. Well, the girl would be hard to explain to her. She said,
and the girl will come back and wash.
So even he had to do with his boxers. He would tell her, listen, all my boxers are dirty. So please, you need to come around. And when she goes there, everything is piled up like this, and she will have to wash, clean up everything, even to cook. Nothing. So the guy just believes she's a girl.
Yeah,
so what?
Something like that.
May that love never find me. May it go to the pit of hell where it came from, honestly.
Says the pit of hell. I'm sure that girl was raised in because what's that?
The
low
self-esteem.
self-esteem.
The wife material. So that the guy can actually see you as the wife material. Understand?
Oh, yeah.
That's just the thing.
Me, I don't want to be picked or chosen by one of those type of people. I beg, stay away from me. I'd rather be 35 single with my 17 cats.
Yeah, it's actually it's actually better to remain single than
to be in that type of situation.
No, it's unhealthy. It's very unhealthy.
So, anyways, what would you guys say are the psychological effects of staying in those situations for too long?
Well, I think it can cause high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Shocking.
Seriously.
Cause high blood pressure
because all the time it's wahala, troubles here and
depression.
There. You're so depressed.
Depression, and then of course women turn to drugs. Women are now turning to drugs
because that's what you want to use to help yourself.
They're day drinkers. I don't know if you see all those type of.
You might have a partner. You're maybe a place of work, and returning to the house, you're already scared. Saying, "Oh God, I'll still go and meet that young man." Like, you are scared of your partner. Maybe when you see his slippers outside, your heart is dim, 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 dim. Like, just imagine.
Yeah.
So it can cause high blood pressure because when you are thinking about it.
Even insomnia. A lot of women, a lot of married women that are in like toxic relationships can't sleep at night.
Yes.
Like, do you ever hear those stories? Like, at least you've had one or two friends that will say that they'll be in the house at like 3 a.m. Their mother is entering their room to come and be offing the lights. Is it normal?
Why are you not sleeping?
Even if like why you're not sleeping, it's like it's always the mom. The dad is fast asleep. Why is it a repeating pattern of like? Because it's different homes. I hear this like so many people to the point you see skits of it on TikTok. POV, my mom is entering my room 2 a.m. to off my light. Like these women cannot sleep. Probably maybe not just the toxic relationship, maybe also the load of being a mom. You know, they can't PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Like they literally can't relax. They're having insomnia. They can't rest. Probably the bad relationship coupled with all the responsibilities of being a mom.
Of course, I even think that the bad relationships too. I mean, if you considered your wife as an equal partner, you'd want to help her. Yeah, you would want to help her.
Yeah.
You'd want to, oh, honey, what are you doing? You're cooking? Okay, why don't you sit down? Let me do the dishes today. Or let me cook the food. Oh, the other day you said your dad did fried rice and chicken.
I didn't grow up my mom being like the main kitchen person like that. My mom cooks, right? But my dad is an architect. So his time is more adjustable, flexible. You can say for a long period of time, he's not gotten any architectural job. Then other than that, he's a pastor. So my mom, she has a shop, very busy woman, always out, always going out. She can't leave it to the shop girls because they could steal. My dad will cook. When my dad is cooking, he's in serious, he's wearing his glasses, he's sweating. Say, mate, about chop vegetables for me. If you cannot chop it, well, give it to me, let me chop it. He will chop it. Cook the food. Very nice. Very sweet. Okay. When my father cooks, it's like,
So how many homes do you know that have such,
dynamics?
Such dynamics, where the husband can actually say, oh, this is my wife, let me help her. That's if it was healthy, you'd consider your wife.
Yeah.
Because why do you want her to cook, clean, take the children to school, wash clothes, and then what exactly do you think will become of that woman?
It'll be like, babe, the toilets, you still not cooking. When you're done cooking, please clean the toilets. You've not served me lunch. All those questions. And the woman is running. And the next I say it's almost 3 p.m. You need to go and pick.
Yes. So these women are just tired, exhausted. Because not just the fact that that a relationship can be unhealthy without really being abusive. They are not beating you up, but they are talking you down. Yeah. Okay, so let's just go over this finally. Is there ever a time when a toxic relationship can be repaired, or should leaving always be the goal?
Yes, should. Because when the both partners might consider meeting a relationship counselor, they want to see it work.
Okay.
Understand? They go to a relationship counselor. How can we make this work? And if it's not that bad, it can be adjusted.
Yeah.
When it comes to the physical abuse, where you might end up losing an eye, or you end up burning you, and so when it's something adjustable, you meet a counselor, you try to work it out, and I think it can be.
Okay. I mean, meeting a counselor is not something that always works, It really depends on the people.
Yes.
On whether they want it to work. Because sometimes a wife will be the one to force her husband to come to the counselor. You think he will change, If she's pulling him to look for how to change and improve the relationship. Sometimes you have to realize when it's the time to say no. And step away and walk away. Even if it's something that you have to keep going back to that person to remind you of why you should leave, do it. Just try your best. Like if it works, if it's a situation where both people can communicate and end things amicably. I have this one friend that her and her boyfriend, they fight a lot. But she says she loves him because they fight a lot. And what do they fight about? They don't fight. They just have disagreements and each person says, oh, I actually did do you dirty. I'm so sorry. And they change. It's like he's addressing his problems he has in the relationship. She's addressing the problem she's having at that very moment. But it always comes with a resolution and a solution, and those problems never come up again in their relationship.
Okay.
The communication is key. So when she says, I love when we fight, she means that I love that we listen to each other, that we are willing to change for each other. We're willing to make this work.
Working it out,
So I feel that's something you should aspire. If you're trying to discuss with your partner, or you guys are having arguments, it should end peacefully. It should end with you guys
Some
both
resolution,
agreeing.
yeah.
Resolution, short and simple.
Yeah.
So that's my own. If it doesn't, leave.
Yeah. If it becomes abusive, just leave.
Well, I think with that, we've come to the end of the show.
Yes, guys.
So please don't forget to subscribe, share,
Drop a like.
and then drop your opinion in the comment section.
Bye.
Love you.
Thank you.